Now, fellas, let's get to y'all first because y'all the leaders. Before you pursue, I have an acronym P-U-R-S-E. Before you pursue and before you are pursued, P-U-R-S-E-D. Says I gave ladies an extra one because you got a D in yours letters. Now, before you pursue, fellas, listen to me. P. Before you pursue a woman, let me get some water on this one because I have a lot of points. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the bell so that you can get these videos. We're doing 4 videos a week from now on, and I don't want you guys to miss them at all. Fellas, before you pursue, P, got a lot of P's, you must have a personality that has been shaped and is sourced through a thriving relationship with God. That's a long sentence, but it's legit. Before you pursue a woman, before you even think about it, before you even pursue a woman, these are things you must have in operation consistently in your life. Now, I'm not telling you this because I was perfect in all this. I'm letting you know that in some of these things I perfected, but some of these things I saw where I missed the mark that God redeemed, but I saw the fruit in it that it helped me when I adopted these principles, okay? Now listen to me. Now, before you pursue, P, you must have a personality that has been shaped and is constantly sourced. Your personality can be shaped, but it must be constantly sourced, provided for, sustained, sanctified through a thriving, not a surviving, but a thriving relationship with God. You, man, must have a thriving, effective, electric relationship with God, meaning your person that has been shaped into the character of God, that you have been made into a biblically sound man, which is now ready to be positioned as a biblically sound husband. It has to be shaped, molded, and constantly sourced. Because you can have the character of God in your life. You can be shaped into the image of God as far as his character in a lot of areas. But as life hits you, you're going to have to constantly be sourced. God, I'm going to need love right now because you're human. You're human. So you got to be constantly sourced that I'm connected to God. God, I need your help. Your personality that has been shaped and sourced through a thriving relationship. Next P, you must be preoccupied. You must be preoccupied. If you're thinking about a woman, you're distracted. If you're looking for a woman, you're distracted. You must be preoccupied doing something else. Adam didn't know he needed a wife until the zebra was named. After he done named the armadillo, from the armadillo down to the zebra. When he got to the zebra, it was then he realized there was not a helpmate suited for him. He was preoccupied doing something else. Fellas, you have to be preoccupied doing what God wants you to do. You got to be so in love in what God wants you to do that you have no time or no interest. You may like, man, I would love to have a wife, but you got to be preoccupied with something of value. If I wasn't preoccupied with my videos and my books and what I was doing in my card games, I wouldn't be having 5 to 7 residual incomes coming in to help provide for my marriage. Now, that should blow a lot of men's mind. Because I was preoccupied, not perfectly, but because I was actually working in my singleness, I now have 7 to 8 residual pots of money that comes in that relieves the stress of my provision. Because I was preoccupied doing something else, it paid off later. Before you pursue him, you have to be preoccupied in doing something, because the finishing of your singleness, the finishing of the assignment of your singleness can help source and supply when you step into that marriage. Next P, you must be a prayer warrior. Ladies, you don't want to be with a man, you shouldn't even accept the pursuit of a man who don't know how to pray. The man can't even pray over his food. The man can't even pray over your headache. You need a person that can pray. You want a man that can pray for you, not pray on you. You need a man that can pray for you and whose lust is not praying on you, that their love for you is praying for you, sustaining you, supporting you, but their lust is not out there preying on you, that they're secretly a lust demon, but they're portraying themselves as a sold out man of God. And this sold out man of God is plotting on how they can lustfully entrap you mentally and emotionally to their control. Weak men lead women into weak places to satisfy their weaknesses. Weak men lead women into weak environments to satisfy their weaknesses. Any man that leads you to a place where it's just only you and him, and compromise is the climate of that room, that man is not even worth your time. And so many people have been lured into situations, weakened, because that man has weakened your spiritual sensitivity, has weakened your frame of mind. And now since you're so weak, now you're in a weak environment and compromise is inevitable. It happens all the time. You need a man who can pray for you, but won't prey on you. Before you pursue, fellas, not only should you be a prayer warrior, you must be fully persuaded. You can't be partially persuaded. You can't be a Christian by day and a black Hebrew at night. You can't be an astrological theorist and then be a Christian you got to be fully persuaded. You got to know in whom you believe, why you believe it, and can't be moved. You got to be a person that seeks the truth. You got to be a person of truth. A person that is open to be told the truth so that the truth can set them free. But if you haven't been persuaded on who Jesus is or haven't been fully persuaded, you are not ready to pursue a woman, because who are you following? Everybody is following someone. And you got to ask yourself, who am I following? Are you fully persuaded in who Christ is? Are you fully persuaded on the Word of God? Are you fully persuaded on the real truthful components of life? If you haven't been fully persuaded, you will be the main place of confusion in a woman's life. How can you lead a woman if you confuse yourself? You'll just be a blind leading the blind. Before you pursue a woman, you must have a person that has been shaped and sourced through a thriving relationship with God. Next P, you must be preoccupied doing the will of God. Not a distraction, but a divine work. You must be a prayer warrior. You must know how to pray, but also be a warrior with know how to come against the plots and schemes of the enemy. Know the difference between what's demonically influenced and what's divinely influenced. To know when to pull down a stronghold. Know how to cast down vain imagination. Know how to operate in the spiritual world. You also must be fully persuaded. You can't be halt between two opinions. How can you be a sound decision maker if you haven't truly been convinced of the main decision that you should make in your life, and that's the salvation of your soul? Next P, you must master patience, because marriage requires patience. You must master patience. An impulsive man is a man that can't be trusted. A patient man sees what he can entrust in. You have to be patient. You got to understand that life has a pace to it, has a rhythm. How am I 33, but this is my 10th year in ministry? There's a rhythm of dates and times. There's a rhythm that God has me on. There's a pace. I understand that there's such a time as this. There's things that going up in my life. There's a pace. See, most men, they rushing because their body longs for a woman. So they're at a pace. So what happens is, I want a woman. The only reason why I want to marry because I'm burning with passion. That's not a good reason to marry. Paul was just saying, hey, it's better to do that than to burn with passion. That's real. But he's saying that's not the real. That from the beginning that wasn't so. So you got to find a pace in God, man. You can't just be rushing to every business idea, rushing to every pantyhose. You can't just be rushing. You got to know that I'm in a rhythm with God. I'm in a rhythm. I'm in pace. Anybody who play sports or have done anything where there's a pace, you understand the value of the pace, that if you push beyond that pace, you messed up. You got to find the pace of God for you. You may not want supposed to run as fast as them. You're supposed to find your pace. Everybody try to run a race in competition with each other. Christianity is not a competition of Christians. Christianity wasn't meant to be a competitive sport between Christians. Who can get to the wedding? Who can get to the altar quickest? Who can have children the quickest? Who can have the biggest ministry the quickest? Who can have the most followers the quickest? Who can have the number one this quickest? It ain't about who gets there quick. It's about who can stay there long. Quick in, quick out. You do not want to be a person that goes beyond their pace as a man, because your woman requires stability and security. And if you're a man that's indecisive, impulsive, is not in pace with God, you will always have your wife uncomfortable. You will always have your woman not settled. God made your woman to be a balance. God made your woman to be a helpmate. God made women to, that's why their superpower is stability and security. One of many is security and stability. One of the greatest assets that my wife brings, I'm a go-getter. She always asks the questions, are we sure? Should we do this? Let's pray about it. Because she's the compass. God knows that men are made to go get it. We're hunters. I'm going to go find that and I'm going to go and kill it. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to bring it home because I am man. But God gave us a woman that says, have you considered this? Because if I'm unstable, now if your woman, I'm talking when your woman's connected to God. If I'm unstable and unsettled, I don't know if we should do this. That's the beauty of a wife. That's why you have to practice patience. Because you don't want to push yourself. If you're always pushing yourself, you're going to always push your woman beyond her place of security and stability. And then it won't be a happy home. Trust me. You must master patience. Last P, before you pursue, fellas, you must be a problem solver. God gave you a mind for a reason. You as the leader must know how to critically process problems, because you got to know what to say to your wife, when to say it to your wife, how to say it to your wife, how to not. You got to be able to be critical. Then you got to be quick. You can't just be like, duh. No. You got to be critical. No woman wants to be around a man that is like, oh, what's 1 + 1 again? Oh, no. No. You got to be a problem solver. You got to, listen, that's why God sends you problems now. That's why God sends you assignments now, because he's trying to train your problem-solving skills, because life is full of problems, and you got to be able to know how to handle the money. You got to make sure you know how to handle certain things, because in order to really be successful, you got to make sure you know how to manage problems and solve them. Because when you know how to solve problems, then you don't have too much problems in your home to solve. Let's keep going. Before you pursue, fellas, you must be up under solid and proven accountability. Fellas, before you even think about pursuing a woman, you must pursue solid and proven accountability. Some of y'all are held accountable by men who got some hidden and some public issues. God's not going to have you pursue a woman until you are up under proven and solid accountability. What's the fruit of solid and proven accountability? No infidelity in his home. Look at his children. Okay, if you want solid accountability, look at a man's children. Look at the countenance of that man's wife. Look at what gets his, when y'all go out to eat and y'all be talking about life, look where his eyes go. Look how he handles those to whom he cannot benefit from. Look at how he treats the servers. Look at how he treats the Uber driver that taking y'all one place to another. Watch how he treats the waitresses or the waiter. Look at his children. Look at the countenance of his wife. Look at how he treats those whom he cannot benefit from. Look where his eyes go. We're talking about proven and solid accountability. We're talking about men that will come and G-check your life and be like you out of order. Men that will show you that I got fruit that proves that I know how to be a man, that I know how to be a husband, I know how to be a father, that I know how to be a leader in the community. You need proven and solid accountability that God will bring to you. Right now, I got men in my life that are in their 60s or their late 50s that will G-check me. I'm under accountability. Any man that runs from accountability, that means if your husband doesn't have an umbrella, then he has holes in his umbrella. You need to be around somebody who has proven and solid accountability. And fellas, that should be what you desire. You should desire accountability because you know you want to be held accountable, because accountability leads to advancing. The more I'm held accountable, the more I advance. The more that you give your accountant access to finances, the more that person can show you you're wasting money here. You're not doing this right. Your business will begin to grow because you're allowing someone to look at the details. You just can't allow people to see the demonstrations of your life. You gotta let people see the details of your life, the issues. Are you still masturbating? Are you still watching porn? What are you doing? You need to make sure that man is held accountable, and men, you should be pursuing accountability wholeheartedly, because you do not even want a woman to be unsettled when she looks at your accountability and they just as nasty, lust all in their heart, and they looking at your wife more than they showing any respect to you. Accountability, seasoned, solid, proven accountability, are few, far in between. But those who desire accountability, God will surround you with the right people. Before you pursue women, fellas, you must be up under a solid and proven accountability, and you must be a well-built umbrella. Because, fellas, you the leader. You have to be a well-built umbrella. Ladies, before you get up under a man and submit to a man, check to see if his umbrella is well built. Can he cover you? Can he cover you spiritually? Can he cover you mentally? Can he cover you emotionally? Can he cover you spiritually? You as a man got to make sure, am I well built? Now, it's going to be nerve-wracking. When I first got married, it wasn't easy because I've never been married before. I'm not sitting there saying you're going to walk in and be like, yeah, man, I'm ready to go. No, then that shows your dependency on God, that you stay humble, you stay little in your own eyes. Like, okay, God, you be my confidence. You be lifted up in me so that I can be able to cover my family. You got to make sure you're up under proven and solid accountability, and you have to make sure that you are a well-built umbrella. That when your wife gets up under you, and you eventually have kids, and kids get up under you, that when life pours, you are a spiritually strong umbrella to shelter them from the demonic rains of society. That you're able to look at your daughter and say, before this gets real bad in my daughter's life, before I find her going astray, let me make sure I cover the area, because whatever you don't tend will end. So many people are not tending their families. Therefore, the demons are getting access to their sons, affecting their lifestyle choices, getting access to their daughters, affecting their purity, getting access to their woman's mind. And now she's heavy burdened with insecurity because that man got holes in his umbrella. If you don't have the energy or the time or the spiritual disciplines to take care of a woman and a family, then stay your behind single. Don't pursue a woman if you know for a fact you're not ready to sacrifice, if you're not ready to cover her, if you're not ready to let go of every other woman to make sure she's full of self-esteem. If you're not ready to stay single, that's fine. That's fine. This is your life. Do what you want to do. It's your life. But don't bring no woman up under an umbrella with holes in it. Now, next point. Before you pursue a woman, fellas, you must be unaffected and have no ulterior motives. You must be unaffected by the world and have no ulterior motives. When I mean unaffected, there ain't no hidden sins in your life that's still affecting you secretly. Be unaffected with your past. You unaffected with the old sins that used to mess with you. You unaffected. Now, life is going to affect you. We're just talking about habitual sins. Life is going to affect you. Life, it's not easy being a man. So I'm not sitting there saying you're going to walk through life and just knocking out stuff. No. There's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be hills and valleys. We're talking about hidden, habitual sins, private things that you watch, private things you listen to that begins to affect the way you think and start poking holes in your umbrella. Because when your wife begins to feel the drip, she's going to realize that you allowed a hole in your umbrella because you are now becoming affected by the world. Now you're thinking like the world thinks about this matter. Now you're thinking about the way the world thinks about the situation. And that's not how a body, a family that's supposed to be anchored by the Holy Ghost is supposed to go. And you got to make sure that you have no ulterior motives. Like, why are you pursuing? You want to make sure that your heart is always, because God is going to test you. God's going to put things in your life to see what your motives are, so that you can see what your motives are. Because a lot of us men, we have pursued women with ulterior motive. We showed the man of God, but we want to show her the man at night. The man of the night. We didn't know. We show her the man of God, but we really want to show her the man of the night. And that's not what the man that she was supposed to see. Or, before you pursue a woman, fellas, you must be rested, ready, and supported by solid routines. You must be rested. Adam didn't meet Eve until he was rested. Rest means I'm rested in the finished work of Christ. I cast my cares on him because he cares for me. I don't worry about money or clothes because I look at the lilies and I see how all the creation is taken care of. That if he could take care of the ravens and the flowers, resting. Now there's going to be moments where you're going to be like, God, how is this bill going to be due? How is this going to happen? Things might happen. But you're rested in his finished work, knowing that he's your provider. That it doesn't matter what happens in this realm, fellas. It doesn't matter what you go through here. He's settled. If Jesus is settled, you should be settled. He's seated. He's settled. He finished the work. Now he has given you his spirit to help you finish your work. That there are going to be in situations, and there's going to be moments and times, Jehovah Jireh, you're right, our provider. There's going to be times in your life where you like, God, who is tough? Being a husband, father. God, it's tough. Being a dad is tough. Doing all this, God, but God's going to be like, my grace is sufficient for you. But if his grace ain't sufficient for you in your singleness, you won't know how to appreciate or utilize that sufficiency in your marriage. But you have to be settled. Rest. If you know your life is restless, don't pursue a woman. Don't pursue a woman if you still at your mama's house. Don't pursue a woman if you don't got no car. Don't pursue no woman if you still taking a bus to A to Z. Don't pursue a woman if you eating ramen noodles every night. Don't pursue a woman if you know for a fact you're not ready to. No woman wants to leave her parents' house or leave her house where she's eating baked potatoes, that she's going in and out of diets. She's keto one week, and then she's paleo the next, and then she's no carb next week. She got all this money in her life, and she's gotten abundance. She got so much abundance in her life, she's able to try different diets. She's able to go to Whole Foods, but you want to bring her all the way down to ramen noodles? If your life, if you can't, you got to be able to afford marriage, baby boy. Baby boy, you got to be able to afford marriage. Marriage is expensive, my brother. Marriage has a high marriage. Where I stay, I ain't gonna tell you my business. I take care of these bills. The only thing my wife takes care of is groceries. I take care of everything else. Right? Right? You hear me? Marriage is expensive. It's expensive. I love Whole Foods too. Oh man, I was at Whole Foods the other day and I said, man, I love this place. But my wife had to pull me out of Whole Foods because I might have idolized Whole Foods. You know what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? So what happens is, you still eating ramen noodles. First off, eating ramen noodles is bad. And that thing's full of sodium. Okay? How's she gonna want? Your heart's threatened. Eating ramen noodles and that 3 times the worth of your daily source of salt. And this woman has got all these Whole Foods foods. You go to her closet where she packs up her bags, where she shops, because that's where she put her lunch in for the morning. It's all Whole Foods bags and Trader Joe's. The brown and the green bags, Whole Foods, fellas. The brown and the red is Trader Joe's. I know you ain't shopped there much. If you can't afford, if you can't be able to really afford marriage, don't pursue no woman. Because marriage is expensive. Okay? You gotta afford marriage. Do you know how much a roof costs? You know what I'm saying? You know how much a roof costs? A good roof? I got a good roof. That's real brick. We got a good roof over here. Okay? You know how much this roof costs? I ain't gonna tell you. We got 2 cars. You know how much that costs? Plus insurance? Plus gas? Do you know how much utilities is? You know I got to make enough money right now just in case baby Essie come out? Before you pursue a woman, you have to understand you got to have enough money to take care of you, her, and a potential little one. Okay? I went in this thing with enough money to be able to take care of me, her, and a potential little Essie. Right? We ain't trying no baby Essie yet, but when baby Essie come, baby Essie gonna be all right. Marriage is expensive. Marriage costs. It costs more than just physical. Are you ready to listen, fellas? Don't pursue a woman if you're not ready to listen. Don't do it to yourself. Don't pursue a woman if you're not ready to emotionally be there for her. Don't do that. If you're not willing to pay the physical cost, the emotional cost, the spiritual cost, and the mental cost of marriage, do you know how much it costs to be married up here? Many people are married here, but they're not married here. You know the cost to be married here? How many vain imaginations you have to cast down? You can be married here, but may not be married here. You got to be married here, 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 here. You got to be married all over the place. It costs. It's expensive. You must be rested, ready, and supported by solid routines. You got to be ready for this thing. You got to be built for this thing. A house that's poorly built is not ready for a tenant. It has to be built. You have to be built. You have to be ready. And you must be supported by solid routines. Solid physical routines, solid mental routines, solid emotional routines, solid spiritual routines. How do you read your Bible? When do you read your Bible? How often do you pray? How often do you fast? What do you listen to and what do you watch? Whose voice do you lend your ear to? What are you emotionally connected to? What has your passions? Why are you even pursuing? And do you exercise? What are your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual? You're right, marriage is worth the cost. If you understand the value of marriage into God's eyes, you'll be willing to pay the cost. Because fellas, you obtain so much favor. The Bible didn't say when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing to obtain his money. He says obtain his favor. You get more favor. That Proverbs 31 talks about that her man is known outside the gates. Like, she's the one that dresses him. She's the one that makes sure he got food in his belly. She's the one that makes sure that when he goes out, his shoulders is broad, his head held high. She's the one. I'm telling you, it's worth the cost. It's worth it. Trust me. I don't want to be single no more. What I was eating before I got married, I don't want that. No. Right. It was Whole Foods, but it was expensive. All right. Anyway, come on, let's keep on. S. A lot of S's here, so bear with me. I'm gonna get to the ladies soon, fellas. I know y'all like, man, you all on my toes, coach. I'm gonna get to the ladies. Trust me. I'm gonna get to the ladies. Before you pursue women, fellas, you must be ready to sacrifice, supply, and seek God. I said it in another video, but I'm gonna say it again here. Before you pursue women, you must be ready to sacrifice. Oh, man, you gotta be ready to sacrifice. If you want to live life on your terms only, stay single. But if you get married, you're gonna have to sacrifice. There's been times where I wanted sleep so bad, but she wanted to talk to me more better than I wanted to sleep. And who had to be like this? Because sleep, money, and success cannot be greater than the needs of your woman. Anytime money, success, or sleep or anything is more valuable to you than your wife, then you lose your wife. It doesn't matter when she wants to talk. It doesn't matter when she needs you. If you see that your wife has texted you or called you and you do not pick up or you do not respond at the moment that you see, then whatever you engaging in is more valuable to you than her. And when she feels that, her heart is no longer with you. You got to make sure you're ready to sacrifice. If you're still selfish, don't get married. If you're still self-centered, don't get married. It requires a selfless man to truly lead a woman. And she must know that she always has your undivided attention. The Bible says the only time y'all separate from each other intimately is when you're giving yourself over to fast and pray. Even then, that's got to be agreed upon, right? But you, man, I'm telling you, so many people out here do not put value on a wife. They want a mistress. A mistress is a person that you respond to whenever you want to respond to. A wife, you must respond to even when you don't feel like responding to. You got to be ready to sacrifice. You also got to be ready to supply. You got to be ready. You got to have a good job. You got to have a good connection with God. You got to be ready to supply spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. You got to be ready to supply. You got to be a provider. You got to be a provider spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Let's keep going. And you must be ready to seek God at all times because you're the leader, bruh. You're the leader, bruh. No. You ain't the leader, bruh. Let me make it clear. You ain't the real leader. Jesus is the leader. The Holy Ghost inside of you is the leader. You are just the number one follower. Okay? You got to make sure I'm always seeking the will of God. I'm always keeping my face of flint. I'm always keeping my face focused on God, on the things of God, on the heart of God, on the mind of God. Because I know that where I feel him leading me, where I feel him taking me, they're going to follow me. I don't want to lead on my own. I want to lead by following him. Ladies, see who he's following. Not all men are following Jesus. Some men are following the ideal or engraven image of Jesus in their wife, right? You got to say, excuse me, bruh, and look on the, oh, okay. That is Jesus you follow. Okay, we good. And you got to be able to G-check him if y'all married and be like, bruh, you lost your mind. Who you following? Fellas, you don't have to worry about your wife going crazy behind you, or your future wife going crazy behind you, if you're truly following Jesus. That means you got to have a pace. That means you got to be sensitive. You got to be able to say, you know what? Okay. I can trust this step going forward because I'm in sync with God. That's right. Say it. Who are they following? Don't follow a man whom you don't know who he's following. Time proves who they really following. Commitment, listen, if he's not committed to God, he ain't going to be committed to you. You got to see what holds his ultimate commitment, because whoever holds his ultimate commitment is his God. Next, you must be completely set apart within your hidden and seen style of life. You got to be completely set apart. Holy unto God in my lifestyle. In my lifestyle, I'm set apart. In my hidden lifestyle, public lifestyle. That's why I don't get confused about these brothers out here that be in church. Most of them people are using their facade, their form of godliness to defile you. You got to see the power in them. It takes power not to have sex all the time. It takes not to have sex at all if you're a single man. It takes power to not lead a woman into sexual perversion. It takes power to really restrain oneself. That's a fruit of the Spirit, self-control. That's power. You must be able to see the power working in his private and his public life. And God will tell you, listen, women, God will let you know. God will be like, that man has a form of godliness and is denying my power and changing him. Fellas, you got to be completely set apart within your hidden and seen lifestyle. Completely set apart. And it's going to be difficult. Get rid of your habitual sins. Allow God to wash off your habitual sins before you even think about a woman. Because it's going to be real complicated trying to be clean from marriage damaging sins while married. It's going to affect your wife drastically if you waited till you got married to get rid of the porn issue, that you waited till you got married to get rid of the lust, that you waited until married to grow up. No. Go through your stuff. Go through your issues. Go through your ups and downs. Go through your everything while single. So that when you are married, you done got rid of those boy-like childish ways. You must be completely submitted to God and a solid decision maker. You got to be completely submitted to God. Not one foot, another foot here. I'm completely submitted. He has to be submitted to God, ladies. Fellas, you should desire to be. Listen, there's no greater place on this earth than at the feet of God. Next point, you must be able to understand and navigate the spiritual world and be simple. You, fellas, hear me. Hear me. You must be complete. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I said that. You must be able to understand and navigate the spiritual world. Listen, we live in a spiritually dominated world. We are spirits with a body. We live in a world full of spirits. And if you do not know spiritual warfare, how will your mind be renewed for salvation with the helmet of salvation? How will everything be held together by the belt of truth? How will every place have peace because your shoe has been shod with the preparation of peace? How will you be able to understand who you are in Christ and his righteousness if you don't have the breastplate of righteousness? How are you going to know how to cut the devil's throat and cut the world through the knife if you don't know how sharp your word is? How are you going to be able to be successful if you don't put on the whole armor of God? You got to be able to dress yourself with the armor of God. Help your wife dress herself with the armor of God. Make sure your children dress with the armor of God before you send them out there in the world. Because you know it's a spiritual fight. Y'all are a unit, soldiers. When you get married, the Bible says if one can put 1,000, two can put 10,000 fight. You alone are powerful, but two of y'all? But if you're completely naive of your authority in Christ, you're going to allow all type of spiritual interferences in your life. If you are not watchful and prayerful, and you fall into temptations, then you're going to be the main one allowing your wife and your children to fall into. If you don't watch and pray, the Bible says watch and pray lest you fall into temptation. In order not to fall into temptation, you must watch and pray. Watch. Spiritual eye, discerning. Sensitive to the Spirit of God. You watching. You ain't stupid. You ain't out here just watching what you want to watch. Listening to what you want to listen to. Doing what you want to do. You're watching. And you're praying, always in communication. Because you in a spiritual fight. How many men, due to them not understanding the spiritual warfare that's going around them, have set their wives to fall into temptations, have set up their children to fall into temptations because they're not watching and praying. You are the leader. You got to watch and pray. No, young man, no. I'm going to get you out of this situation right now because I know 3 more steps beyond this, you're going to be confused about the style of life you want to live. No. I'm going to make sure I spend 3 nights a week with my daughter. Because I know that if I don't, by the time she's 14 and 15, she's going to be looking for love and everywhere else. You got to say, I'm watching and praying to uproot every trap in my family. No. This ain't no trap and die. No, we're going to live up every trap. No, none of my children, I pleaded over my life. My wife will not fall in no traps. Anybody that I love, that I pray for every day by name, I'm uprooting traps. Because I'm watching and praying, not only for my sake, but for those that I love. And if you can't do that as no man, your wife will fall into temptation, your son will fall into temptation, and your daughter will fall into temptation because you don't know how to watch and pray. You watch the Super Bowl, you watching March Madness, you watch every show, you watching stuff that night that you shouldn't be watching, and you're talking to all these different things, entertaining different influences, and now, all of a sudden, now you mad at God because your son don't know that he's a man. Now you mad at God because your daughter came back with a child. Now you mad at God when your wife's legs are closed. It's because of you. And I'm warning you right now, learn how to watch and pray right now so that because if you just want to be by yourself and if you don't want that responsibility, cool. Don't pursue no woman. But if you're going to take a woman away from her focus, you better make sure that you're taking her to a greater focus. Whew, I feel my help, man. There's a responsibility that we men hold. God ain't playing. Listen, this ain't no video for no boys. It's for people who want to be men, who want to be kings and priests over their home. I done lost my spot. And you must be simple. You more of a pretty boy. You prettier than your wife. You got all kind of toys. Man, you got to be simple, brother. The more stuff you have in your life, the more things that can be attached to your heart. I live a simple life. I'm a very simple guy. I love simplicity. I keep it simple because the more I add to my life, the more I add other things. Fellas, you just got to be simple, man. Man, just be simple. That's all I'm trying to say. Next, you must understand servant leadership. You understand, I know for a fact, I'm the number one servant in the home. Most men think that their wives should serve them. No. You got to serve your wife. I am intentional in serving my wife because I'm a servant leader. I tell men, you have to be a servant leader before you even think about pursuing a woman, because you got to always think about, because a business that takes care of their employees have greater success. When the customer means more to you than your employee, your business will not be successful. When your employees mean more to you than your customers, then you don't have to worry about your customers. Because if you take care of your employees take care of your customers, right? If you treat your job, if you treat another woman, if you treat your homeboys, if you treat your hobbies better than you treat your employee, your servant, if you treat all that other stuff better than her, then your life is downhill. But if you treat her better than everything else outside of God, you treat her better? Oh, bro, sex ain't a question. Love ain't a question. Hot meals ain't no question. Maximizing your ideas ain't a question. Ladies, you can type amen. You know that. Legs be wide open. Food be hot. When you take care of the health, man, when I really look out for the janitors at my school, I don't gotta worry about my office being clean. When you take care of the waitress and the waiter and you tip them before the meal and you make them smile, you make them feel good before the meal, oh, them waffles at Waffle House, no matter if she's missing 3 teeth in the front, those waffles are golden. I never have a cold burger. My chicken is always crispy. My waffles are always golden brown because I take care of the health. My wife, I'm going to go tell our business. What I'm trying to say, you take care of her more than you take care of everything else will be taken care of. But if you take care of everything else and you don't take care of her, you won't be taken care of. Let's keep going. You, before you pursue, you must be understanding and under control. Before you pursue a woman, you have to understand what it means, or you must have an understanding of women. You must be open to understanding how a woman thinks, what comes with marriage. Those who take the time to understand their career path of choice probably have a greater chance of succeeding down that path than those who just willfully pursue without taking the time to understand. If you begin to feel that God is readying you for marriage, preparing you for marriage, you're not thinking about who she is. You're just preparing yourself to understand. God, okay, the more you understand yourself, the more you understand what you need. The reason why men be pursuing women that has nothing to do with their purpose, because they don't really understand what their purpose is. When you don't know your purpose, you won't know who to partner yourself up with. You'll begin to partner yourself with a woman who doesn't even match. And you're like, God, where's my favor? All you're getting from her is a headache. You got to be able to say, okay, who am I? Father, who have you made me to be? Give me revelation. Give me understanding about who you've made me to be, so that when you join me with someone, I can be able to say no. And I'm okay with saying no, because my purpose matter than temporary pleasure. Your purpose must be greater than your temporary pleasure. But if you have no purpose, you'll always find yourself seeking pleasure. Therefore, you must be a man of understanding and a man under control. Your voice shouldn't go but so high. Your hands should never be like this around your wife, or like this, or like this, or like this. You just got to make sure you're under control. The peace of God dwells inside of you. If you don't have control over your anger, you don't have control over your lust, you don't have no control over your mouth. Why do you think God, you heard me say this many times, God gave Adam nameless animals to see what he would name them, to train his words. So that when he spoke, and so when he saw his wife, he began to say, flesh in my flesh, bone in my bone, and being able to call a woman. God trained his mouth with his assignment, so that when he sees his wife, he'll know what to speak over. When you know your purpose, you'll know what to say, because you know we are joined together. I got to make sure I speak encouraging words, uplifting words to her, because the more she feels appreciated, the better we can advance together. You got to be a person who's under control. And you must be unashamed of Jesus. That's self-explanatory, unashamed. As far as me and my house, I don't care what they say on Fox News. I don't care what they say on CNN. I don't care what they say on the Breakfast Club. I don't care what they say on the Joe Budden podcast. I don't care what they say in the barbershop. I don't care what the homeboys say wherever. I don't care what nobody says wherever. As far as me and the Ezzy household, we gonna serve Jesus. Period. No, move the period. Exclamation point. You gotta be unashamed, brother. You can't be quiet. You can't be, oh, I love Jesus amongst her one-on-one, but you're unashamed when it comes, you're unashamed of Jesus when it's time for you to leave her house. When it's time for you to be alone, you're not ashamed of Jesus then. You're ashamed then. You don't want to be about Jesus then. No, you got to be about Jesus all the time. Let's keep going. Last letter for the men. Before you pursue a woman, you must not be earthly bound. You can't be bound here. You can't love your car. You can't love your house. You can't love who you are. What I mean by that, you can't love carnally who you are. You can't love your degrees. You can't be in love with your accolades and accomplishments. You can't be in love with your online banking. One of the things that I love is online banking. You know, I love to see what things deposit. But you can't be earthbound. Because if you're earthbound, then it will be compromises in your relationships. Next E, you must be economically sound. Economically sound. You can't be careless with money, y'all. You gotta be sharp with money. You gotta be good with money. Because, man, listen, more money doesn't mean more problems. If you flip it, more money means more problems solved. Money is not the root of all evil. The love of it is. Money is a great resource. It solves all things. It helps all things. It eases a lot of things. But you got to know how to maximize and manage your money. Next, before you pursue a woman, you must be easy to talk to. You can't be a Mr. Know-it-all. You can't think you know everything. You got to be easy to talk to. You got to be quiet. Your wife is smart. Women are smart. Women got a gift. They may not have the gift like you, but they got a gift too. You got to be easy to talk to. You just can't be like, finishing her sentences. I used to be that way when I first met my wife. I wouldn't think I was a know-it-all. I was just, my brain is just quick. And I had to learn how to, okay, Josh, chill. Listen. She didn't come to you to solve her problems. She just wanted you to come listen. I had to learn that early on. Now I'm easy to talk to. If she wants to be up to 1 o'clock talking, she got something on her heart, and I got to be at work at 7:30, that's fine. Because God will give me the energy that I need throughout my day. And He has done that supernaturally. Because He's in our relationship. Last E, you must be little in your own eyes. You can't be prideful, man. You got to be little in your own eyes. Women love humble men. I'm telling you. You got to be little in your own eyes. You got to be humble. Quiet, not boastful. You confident, but you're silent. Insecurities are loud. Confidence is silent. If you hear more about him than he does hearing about you, that is an insecure man. You go on a date with a man and all he talks about is himself, man, you can't even get 2 or 3 sentences about who you are. He didn't even ask a question about who you are. He's trying to impress you with who he is. He's insecure. But a man who is quiet, who asks questions, who's intuitive, who's listening, I'm not saying all men who do that are right. What I'm saying, that's the type of man you want. A man that can be able to say, so what do you think about this? What do you want to do in life? Why does that matter to you? And they can recall it down the road. They're just not listening to impress you, but they can recall it down the road. Let's keep going. Ladies!